I went to Alabama A&M. Go Bulldogs, right? I was in the marching band, right? Shout out MMW one time, right? Okay, cool. So this particular trip, we was playing Southern University down in New Orleans, but down in Baton Rouge. Southern University down in Baton Rouge, right? Okay, so as usual, especially when it's an out of town trip like that, we normally get there the night before, day before, you know what I'm saying? So we in the hotels and stuff like that, and we getting it up, we having a good time, you know what I'm saying? You down there, you gotta have a good time. I think we had too much of a good time. Like too much of a good time. So when we get to the game, you know what I'm saying, the next day, like we march in and we do all that, right? All right, mind you, like I said, we had too much of a good time. I played tuba, sousaphone. Our section is the very last section to march in. Like we're in the back of the band. The whole band marches in, sousaphone section is last, right? Okay, at this particular time, I'm the very last person in the tuba section when we line up single file. Because it normally was an upperclassman. I was an upperclassman. I was the last person. Okay, so I say all that to say I'm literally the very last person to walk into the stadium of the band. All of the assistants and all of the people that be with the flag girls, the major or maroonettes or whatever, all of them walked in, marching in. I'm literally the last person. And I say all that to say I'm catching all the slack. I'm catching all the cuss words. I'm catching all the threats. I'm catching, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know how it is down there in New Orleans, right? Baton Rouge. Y'all know how it is. Like they got the whoa there, they got the big. That's how they talk. So the threats is coming, but with that at the end and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh shit, it's like it's on, it's real, because around that time, you know, the Master P body, you know what I'm saying? So the whole image of that area was like gangster, dangerous, and it still is. So I'm walking and I'm like, oh man, when I'm marching in and I got threats coming, and you know, they saying stuff like, can't nobody save you, can't blah, 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 right? So like I said, we partied so hard the night before, I'm having residual effects, I'm hungover, I'm still tripping or whatever. So these threats is almost like sounding like 3D effect, slow motion, you know what I'm saying? They echoing in my head, we gonna get you, Woody, you know what I'm saying? You done fucked up, baby. You know, so it's like, I'm hearing this in my head, but it's almost like 3D almost, because it's ringing, it's echoing, you know what I'm saying? There's so many people saying it and stuff. And these are just fans, y'all, so let me say that. They just fans supporting their team. That's all it was. It wasn't nothing, you know what I'm saying, that was gonna really happen. I'm glad I know that now. You know, at the time, it really seemed like it was, you know, it was a real threat. So like I said, I'm walking in, chilling, got this going on in my head, I'm staggering a little bit. So we get into the stadium, right? Long story short, we get into the stadium, we line up the way we supposed to line up, we doing our thing. Halftime about to come. Once again, long story short, I feel myself about to pass out. Like just, long story short, I'm about to hit the deck, y'all. Ain't no denying it, ain't no avoiding it. Everything you can try, everything you read about, technique, whatever, it don't work. I'm about to hit the deck with a tuba on. If it wasn't for one of the, I want to say Renee, I think that's who it was. Shout out to you. She actually came in front of me. She like, hey, said, you good? And she grabbed me like this, you know what I'm saying? Because I was about to go out. All right, so the cop seen it, you know what I'm saying? They take care of me. Paramedics come, they take me away. You know what I'm saying? Like all this is, paramedics come through the stadium, you know what I'm saying? Come down the track, because there's normally a track around the football field. They come down, put me in there, you know what I'm saying? They take me away. All right, y'all. This is what y'all been waiting for. I know. It took me a long time to get here, but we here now. Pull up in, honestly, I really don't know the name of this particular hospital. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if it's Baton Rouge General. I don't know what the name of the hospital is. To be honest with you, I don't know. It wasn't far from Southern University. It wasn't far from their football stadium. I don't know the name of it. Maybe y'all know the name of it. Okay, I get there and I sit down in the chair, right? Cool. And I got somebody who came with me. You know what I'm saying? One of the band members came with me. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. So anyway, we sitting there. And they making sure I'm straight, because at this point I'm having trouble breathing and stuff like that. Like my chest locking up and stuff like that. So it's really hard for me to breathe. So the person who came with me, they helping me, you know what I'm saying, to like remain upright, to breatve, and you know what I'm saying, like take in deep breath. Like they helping me out. Cool. So to this side of me, to my immediate left, a guy come in and sit down, right? The guy bleeding from his head. He got a t-shirt wrapped around his head. You know what I'm saying? And he holding it like that, but it ain't doing no good. He got blood just coming down. So some of the nurses come out, you know, or the people at the reception desk, they come over and they give him like towels and stuff. So he take the shirt off his head. He has some bandages under there, like some gauze pads. He take those off, you know what I'm saying? And they give him like a towel and stuff. Y'all know, like the hospital towels or whatever it might be. It's very absorbent, you know? So he holding it like this and it's helping out, right? But at this point, you know, he got dry blood on his face and on his shirt and he's sitting right next to me, like right next to me. So I'm looking, he looked at me, I looked at him. We ain't really say nothing to each other, you know what I'm saying? That was it, we just kind of looked at each other. All right, cool. This where shit get fucked up. Them folks at the reception desk or whatever, I don't know what their procedure or protocol is, but they took me first before they took him. They called me before they called him. Now literally, y'all, this man is gushing like for real from the head. They didn't stop the bleeding, they just gave him something else to put over his head. He's bleeding for real. But they called me. So I go up. So I'm like, you know, and I'm wheezing, so I'm like, you know, and y'all know how it is. Like I just had an asthma attack or something like that, and you can talk, but you can't really talk yet. And so I'm telling the lady, like, ma'am, y'all don't want to get him first. Like, he bleeding from the head. Y'all don't want to get him first. This woman told me in the typical New Orleans style, she's like, baby, you came first. Just like that. That's what she said to me and looked at me just like that. I said, yes, ma'am, and went on in the back. I was like, oh, snap. I don't know how often, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how often they see this, you know what I'm saying? Or if they really go by that first come, first serve type rule, or if it was because I was a child, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know, a young man, I was in college. I don't know if it was that. I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell you. But I was just like, oh, snap, okay. So I go in the back, and the nurses, I don't know if it's like, everybody out there is just real. Like, they just real. They on the, I'm from New York City, so I can recognize it. When I get back there, they real, y'all. Like, they talk to you real. And I can appreciate that, but I'm sitting there thinking like, dang, you should be a little bit more professional, I guess. But nah, they was real. Okay, cool. So they hook me up, I leave. We walk out the front door. It's completely black, y'all. Completely pitch black. When I say pitch black, I mean pitch black. I'm looking around like, whoa, what the, you know what I'm saying? Mind you, I'm in a marching band uniform that say A&M across the, AAMU across the chest. That's what the old ones used to say. Like, going that way, AAMU. Maroon and white, yes, standing in front. I don't even know the name of the hospital, but standing there. Me and the person who came with me, you know what I'm saying? Once again, shout out to them. And we just standing there. So we like, what we gonna do? I don't know. Let's start walking, I guess. So I'm like, before we start walking, let me go over here. He was like, it was a payphone over there. I'm like, okay, let me go over to the payphone, see if we can call somebody, like somebody in the band and shit, you know what I'm saying? Walk over there, and payphone didn't work. But as I was walking over there, it was a guy in a cab. And they had like them van style, dollar vans in New York. It was similar to that. And he told me, once again, in the typical New Orleans style, whoa there, you don't want to go that way. I'm like, huh? He was like, well, you don't want to go that way. I said, nah, I'm just trying to get to this phone. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, but hey, you don't want to walk down there. Like, use the phone if it worked, but you don't want to go that way. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, he ain't even had to say no more. I felt him. Hey, listen, you ain't got to tell me more than once. I get it. No problem. I'm going back this way. So he was like, hey, where you going? I'm like, be honest with you, I don't even know. He was like, what you mean? I'm like, you know, look how I'm dressed. I'm like, hey, I was at the game, got sick. They sent me here. He was like, where y'all staying at? I'm like, at the hotel. He was like, y'all got a casino at the bottom? I'm like, yeah. He was like, oh, I know where you at. He was like, man, I'm a cab driver. Get in the cab. All right, bet. So at this point, me, person that's with me, they like, let's do it. We ain't really got no other choice. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I ain't got no bread. They like, I ain't got no bread neither. Like, what we gonna do? So we like, our plan was, hey, get in the cab, get back to the hotel, because the game was pretty much over at this point, right? And the band director had told him they was going to send somebody to get us. We didn't know that, you know what I'm saying, at this point. But he had already called and made arrangements for us to get back. So definitely shout out to the band director, Dr. Wesley. So, but like I said, I didn't know this at the time, you know. So we get in the cab and we like, well, once we get back, we going to borrow the bread from somebody, you know what I'm saying, to get back. We get in the cab, we ride. How about this nigga said, hey, look, I hope y'all got some money and ain't hoping to try to get out my cab and run, because I ain't with that shit. But he said it in a typical, you know what I'm saying, New Orleans accent. And I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we wasn't planning on doing that, but we were planning on trying to buy some time so we could find somebody to pay him. All right, cool. So we get there, and it was such a short ride. We didn't notice it was such a short ride. It ended up being like $8, $9. Like I said, y'all, this is in like 99 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? When cabs was still a thing and not Uber. Okay, cool. So right before we got out the cab, don't know what made me do it. Maybe it was the Lord. I don't know. Some said, check in your pocket. You know, the band uniforms, I don't know, y'all probably never been in the band, whatever. But it's normally a pocket on both sides, right? Normally, traditionally, especially in the older ones. I check in my pocket, and for whatever reason, I must have forgotten I had stashed a dub in there, a 20. And I pull it out, and I'm like, oh shit, I got $20. You know what I'm saying? So we pull up, and I tell Buddy, hey, here you go. You know what I'm saying? So he looking, he was like, I appreciate that. I'm like, no, I need my change back. You know what I'm saying? I ain't giving you the whole 20. He started laughing, you know what I'm saying? This is another funny part of the story. He said, hey, with that change, you want to get some weed? No, stop playing with me, police officer. I don't know. No. So I was like, man, let me just get my chain, man. Let me just get my chain, man. I'm fucked up, man. My chest still hurting and shit. I just want to go. So he gave me my change. I get in there, get in the hotel room and shit like that, right? Okay. Once again, story is not over, y'all. I know y'all like, come on now, said what else can go down at that point? Oh, it's not over. Okay, cool. So I couldn't get my key to get into my room. Don't remember what happened. I think one of the assistant band directors had everybody room key. I'm not exactly sure what happened, right? I couldn't get in my room. So I ended up going into the room where all the drum majors was at. Shout out to all the drum majors. They can definitely confirm this part of the story. They pretty much confirm all of it, but definitely this part. Because all of them was in there, and they let me come in there with them because they knew what happened. They knew I couldn't get into my room. All right, cool. So everybody just hanging out and chilling, right? There's one assistant band director in particular. I'm not gonna say people hated him or disliked him, but I'm just gonna say he wasn't everybody's favorite. That's a good way to say it. Okay, cool. He comes in the room to speak to the drum majors. Cool. You know what I'm saying? I guess that was typical, right? I'm not a drum major, never been one, so I don't know what they did after the game. I don't know. But I'm in there with them. He comes in first. Band director comes in behind him. First thing that the assistant says is, what you doing here? Pointing at me. I'm like, what? He was like, what you doing here? Ain't you supposed to be at the hospital? Okay, cool. So like I said, at this point, I did not know that Dr. Wesley, Mr. Wesley, had set up arrangements for me to get back, you know what I'm saying, to the hotel. I didn't know this. Didn't know. So when he come in, not when he come in, but when one of the assistants come in, snapping at me, you know what I'm saying, talking about what you doing in here, I snapped back because I'm mad. I'm like, y'all left me at the hospital. So my reply was, what you mean what I'm doing here? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why you worried now? Y'all wasn't worried when I was stranded at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And I snapped back just like that. So he didn't say nothing else, but I could tell he was pissed. You know what I'm saying? So the drum major was like, hey, said, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? Be cool. Be cool. So I'm like, all right. I said, man, my fault, man. But I'm like, man, you left me at the hospital, man. You know what I'm saying? Now he's trying to come in and snap on me. So the band director was back there, and I didn't know because the band director is slightly shorter than that particular assistant. So I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know he had heard what I said. And then, like I said, when I seen him, you know what I'm saying, in the view, I was like, in my head, I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Because the band director always been good to me, was always cool with me, always, you know what I'm saying? So I really didn't want him to see me react like that. I'm just being honest because he's a good man. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Wesley is a good man, good dude. Everybody know him, everybody love him. So, you know what I'm saying? It was just like out of respect for him. And that's probably why the drum major was telling me, hey, said, chill out. You know what I'm saying? And I did. I calmed down. But then I see him and I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. So they leave out the room. And we all in there just talking and shit. And I remember when the drum major asked me, well, damn, bro. One of my friends, they were like, damn, bro, how you even get down here? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you make it back? And then that's when I told them the story and shit. That's when they were like, oh, okay. Well, we see why, you know what I'm saying, you feel the way you feel. But once again, like I said, that was before anybody knew that they had already made arrangements, you know what I'm saying, for me to get back. So I guess you can kind of say I overreacted a little bit. I don't know. But it was just the way he came at me. And y'all know how that go when you've been through a lot and you in a situation where you got to do what you got to do. And then somebody is saying something to you once you get back, you know what I'm saying, once you get back to home base or once you get back to safety or whatever. And like, you ain't trying to hear that. So it was kind of like one of them stories, y'all. But yeah, man, that was my crazy hospital visit, you know what I'm saying, down in New Orleans, down in Baton Rouge. I'm not sure the hospital name. Maybe one of y'all might know it, y'all. But check this out, man. Shout out to Alabama A&M, MMW one time, KK Psy. I'm your boy Said. I'm out of time. Till the next time. I'm screaming, let's talk. Peace.